They called him Android at Apple because he was obsessed with robots, and that nickname, given to him inside Apple's walls in 1989, would eventually become the name of Apple's greatest enemy. Because after learning everything he could at Apple, he used those lessons to build something that would dominate the smartphone market, something Apple never saw coming. Today, my friends, we're diving into one of the most insane stories in tech history. How Apple accidentally trained the man who built Android and dominated the smartphone market. The year was 1989. Andy Rubin was on vacation in the Cayman Islands, soaking up the sun, when he noticed a guy who looked completely miserable. The man's name was Bill Caswell, and he'd just been thrown out of his room after a fight with his girlfriend with nowhere to stay. Rubin barely knew this stranger, but he did what most people wouldn't and offered Caswell a place to crash for the rest of the trip. They hung out, talked tech, and when the vacation ended, Caswell asked Rubin a question that would change everything. Want to work at Apple? This random act of kindness landed Rubin a job at one of the hottest tech companies on the planet. But what Apple didn't know was they'd just hired the man who would eventually build their biggest competitor.
Before we continue, a quick message from today's sponsor, Incogni. Your personal information is exposed online right now. Your address, phone number, email, even details about your family members. It's all published on hundreds of websites for anyone to find. And the consequences are real. Criminals use this information for scams, stalking, and illegal activities. Your home address and phone number are exposed, so stalkers can easily locate you or your family. Even employers, landlords, and complete strangers can access your personal information. While you can technically ask them to delete your data, doing it manually would take you hundreds of hours because there are thousands of websites constantly selling your information. That's why I use Incogni. Here's how it works. You create your account, authorize Incogni just once, and they automatically track down and remove your information from over 420 data brokers and people search sites. Since this information can reappear, Incogni sends repeated requests to keep it off permanently. But here's the best part. With the unlimited plan and custom removals, you can go way beyond that. Found your information on a specific website? Just copy the link, send it to Incogni, and a dedicated privacy expert personally handles removing it for you. You can submit an unlimited number of links, new sites, public databases, directories, practically any site exposing your data. It's the most complete way to disappear from the internet. Take your personal data back with Incogni. Use code BYTE, B-Y-T-E, at the link below and get 60% off an annual plan. Go to incogni.com/byte. A huge thanks to Incogni for supporting the channel.
Rubin started at Apple in 1989 as a manufacturing engineer. The company was riding high on Macintosh success, and Rubin threw himself into the work. But his co-workers noticed something weird about him pretty quickly. He was obsessed with robots, and it showed in everything he had, like his house, which had a retinal scanner instead of a doorbell. If your eye wasn't in the database, you'd have to ring the actual bell, which was a robotic hand holding a hammer that struck a gong. This wasn't normal behavior, even for Silicon Valley. So his Apple co-workers started calling him Android, and the nickname stuck. Rubin didn't mind it at all. He actually loved it. But working on the factory floor wasn't enough for Rubin. He wanted to build the future, and in 1990, Apple was about to give him that chance. In 1990, Apple spun off a new company called General Magic, which Rubin joined immediately as they were working on something revolutionary. The vision was to develop handheld devices and communication technology, but they wanted to do more than just make calls. It would have apps, cloud storage, and internet connectivity. Sound familiar? They were building the smartphone 15 years before smartphones existed, complete with an operating system called Magic Cap that had apps and cloud storage that sound normal today but were pure science fiction in 1993. Rubin and his team poured everything into it. They believed this was the future, but they just had one problem. nobody